Recording in progress.
Hey.
I got assigned to a room. So,
Oh no, Chris.
yeah,
Everyone.
Are you hopping off, Chris, or are you staying on?
I mean, in 13 minutes, I have another call to hop off to, so I can
Okay. Let me
just consider me a fly on the wall, and I'll just listen, and you guys can have a 4-person.
Okay. Let me chat Josh Seymour just to so he knows this is the room he should join if he can. Oh, there we go. All right, they're figuring it out.
Hey guys.
Everyone.
All right, so it looks like this room's filled with Fractally veterans. So I think everyone
Right.
knows what to do.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, good to see you all. And I suppose would anybody like to kick us off?
Jay, I'll give it a shot. I apologize for my EOS account. I'm definitely going to have to buy a personalized EOS name. So I don't know. I'll read it out if you have pencils or if you can cut and paste that thing. It starts with Q, QRJ1, WRJ, SCUHH. So sorry about that EOS account name, guys.
Okay.
And you can vote me down vote me for that one. I'm happy to be here. A lot of excitement about where we're going. I think it's a great opportunity for us to be pioneering the putting together Eden with the new Fractally. It's going to be a whole new chain mainnet process, and we can figure out how to use the smart contracting system on an exciting new chain. I think that in and of itself could be something that could help boost Eden and EOS in a way that's really helpful. So I'm glad that I have the opportunity to participate in that. My contribution this week is kind of funny. I invited Doug Wu to join Eden, and I got him inducted just by this past Sunday. He's part of the call. He's in the other breakout room. And there's so many different labels to call him, but he's a one-man performing arts megalomaniac is what he likes to refer to himself as. And so that's basically my contribution for the week. Thanks, guys.
Doug Woo.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay.
It's great, Jay.
And yeah, Doug is Riot, and I'm very happy that he's here and joined Eden. So thanks so much for inviting him and also reaching out to me about that.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. Do you want to nominate the next person?
Felix Ruiz.
All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this last week, Dan and I, we had that the Eden Town Hall event on Discord. Still, not much has changed with the Discord group other than like last week. I basically just cleaned out and organized to just only a couple rooms. But yeah, so my main, contribution was talking about it. We had also Patrick from Nova Crypto. He did an interview with Dan and I asking about this event, and then also our weekly Discord event event show that we're going to be hosting weekly on Sundays. So yeah, that was my contribution for the week, and will be a good amount of my contributions moving forward, and seeing how we move in these groups. It's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know, maybe if it should be in this group or in our breakout groups or like afterwards, but once we've kind of reached consensus, everyone maybe talk about like the things that we have held the most valuable, so that moving forward each week, then we can start to kind of align like what direction do we want to go, so that we can put out, I guess, basically, bounties is the wrong word for it, but like, hey, we would like to have this done. Anyone who's wanting to kind of do that, and whoever steps up and does that will be kind of, I guess, the ones that I would say that we value more of, for that next week. So yeah, This is kind of going off of my contributions. I just thought I would share that because I think, what's different about this fractal versus the fractally is, yeah, we're now going to have to find our own direction, and that's going to be amongst the community, discussing amongst ourselves. And I think it'd be beneficial to do that some in the breakout rooms and then also in the main room afterwards. So, but yep, that's my my contributions for the week, and I'm going to go off my screen. So, Marco, you've been in like my rooms every single week in Fractally. I feel like the last 3 weeks, but so you're on my left screen. I'm gonna go with you.
Thanks. Thanks, Felix. And I love that you got Doug to finally join Jay. He's part of the EOS translation team that I just joined a couple weeks ago. And I love that finally got a second Fractally group, especially with Eden. One of the things the EOS translation team to bring about is a stronger community voice, one that is clearly independent from the ENF. I love the ENF. I know I saw it grow. I covered it in the newsletter. And so I know that it's a core group of developers that came together out of the community. I would love that they were able to not only take over for B1, but far exceed expectations for B1 or let alone themselves. Still, anytime I've been working with information for the millennium, anytime information is funneled out of anywhere, there's a danger. So I had this idea of flash consensus, and we were gonna start it at a pre-meeting with the EOS Translation Foundation before the Saturday Fractally meetings. I put it out once, didn't get much interest, but essentially you put out a statement that can fit on a Twitter line, on a Twitter share. So it comes to like 2 lines, really a long sentence or 2 very short sentences. Everybody reads that before coming into the meeting, and within 5 minutes, we just vote on which is the most important one to get out. I suggested allocating some of the teams fractally and fractally respect and some EOS to those who come in. Nominal, tokenal, but just to get the idea started. That if you have an idea, something that you see, and you're trying to get it out there in Telegram, you can come to this meeting in 5 minutes. If people see it as important, we can spread it. I know the USPs do marketing and stuff like that, but really wanted to get it more personal voice. So I'd love that for that to take off. And Eden being Eden and Chuck McDonald being vocal, and a lot of the chief delegates are kind of in the community talking. I thought Eden is a great place for something like that. As far as my other Eden contributions, I've been writing a weekly section on EOS Weekly, specifically for Eden, catered to Eden, and trying to help ingrain Eden into the community as both a governance and engagement. Really can't think of anything right now else. So I'll pass it off to Chris Barnes in case he's got to jump off.
Yeah, no, it's okay because I won't be able to. I shouldn't count. I'm just listening because I'm curious how this is going. Great conversation though. How about James? He's in the middle. I'll just hand it over to him to go.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Okay. Yeah. So I guess you all know me. I'll skip an introduction. My contribution for the last week. I've been meeting with Dan Singjoy, Josh Seymour to kind of get this started. The initiative or the credit for the real initiative has to go to Dan Singjoy for that, but I've just participated in some of the calls and given some thoughts and ideas. My main contribution is that I actually wrote a smart contract on EOS. So it is not deployed on an account yet, but it is fully ready to be. So it's open source. It's on my GitHub. And the smart contract does a couple things. One, it'll allow us to set a membership agreement on the smart contract. So you set something that then people can sign. So there's a sign action, which just will allow people to indicate their assent to whatever the goal of this group ends up being. And that's part of it. You can also unsign it if you disagree. Then there's token-related stuff. So the contract also includes the token contract for the new Eden token, which is, I think, what the ticker is going to be. At least that's the initial idea we had. But it'll have the tokens are untransferable, non-transferable, but they can't be issued except by the smart contract. So the smart contract controls the logic of how they get issued, which I'll get to. But eventually, when the token is transferable, then it'd be a simple update to the contract, and then people can trade the token. But it'll actually be a token. So if you're used to Fractally, we have the token in the spreadsheet, which I also think is actually a token. But this is just on the actual blockchain live, so we can see it in blocks. That's really the only benefit, is you'll get to see it in your account. And then the last part, and probably most important part of the contract, is that it does the stuff related to these consensus meetings. So there's some configuration stuff that the admins can set. The admins right now are just going to be hard-coded to be the people like Dan Singjoy and Chuck and the other people that are running this. So there's some trust there. It's not a fully decentralized process yet. But at the end of these meetings, some admin can call the action submit ranks, which will be they'll submit the full list of all of the rankings that we come to consensus on in these meetings. And two things happen. One, the new Eden token is distributed according to the Fibonacci sequence to all the participants according to their rank. And then two, EOS is distributed. So Dan is going to send EOS to this account, and then at the same time it's distributing the Eden, it will also calculate how much EOS to distribute according to the Fibonacci sequence. It's a little different because there's a fixed amount of EOS, so you can't just start at the first number of the Fibonacci, and grow. You have to take a maximum and then figure out how to split it with the Fibonacci ratio. So it does that math. It'll send out the EOS, and then everyone here can get their reward in both EOS and Eden. And the contract's done, and there's unit tests for it and everything. I might add a few more unit tests, but it's ready to be deployed. I'm just waiting for Dan to finish up getting the account set up. I think he bought a premium name, and he's going to set up some account, and we'll deploy it there. Yeah. That's it. And I'll pass to Mel. If you're there.
Is Mel here just
Sorry.
listening?
I'm on a train, so I'm going to talk to you, sorry.
What was it, Mel? You said you're on a train, so you won't be able to talk?
Yeah, I'm on a train, so I'm just listening in.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Mel. And good to hear from you. And I hope you enjoy your train ride. And I suppose that I'll go now. And yeah, thanks so much, James, for all that. That's super helpful. And yeah, thanks everybody so much for all the amazing work. Also, because we're doing a little different consensus mechanism here, or just like consensus submission process, we only have 40 minutes because we're using the Zoom chat. So we only have 15 minutes to arrive at consensus. So I'll just give like a really quick presentation here of things I'm doing. So yeah, I've been I built the website, and I've been working a lot with James and Felix and Jay and Marco and pretty much everybody here to start up this Eden Fractal. So people can check it out at edenfractal.com, where there's like links to RCP. You guys have probably all already seen this, but for people who are watching the recording, I suppose this might be new for you. So built a website to just kind of give a basic idea of what the Eden Fractal is, and then also just wrote some details, and I also wrote the presentation that I showed before at the beginning of this meeting to kind of just give an overview and welcome people who aren't familiar yet. I'm doing this with Eden creators. It kind of started out first where a few weeks ago, I started making a proposal for Eden Fractal events, and then it was basically this idea to give out 100 EOS per week and account for respect. And then I shared it at the Moving Eden Forward meetings that Joshua has been hosting, and then we were discussing it there amongst many or all of us probably. And then James Mart reached out to me after like 2 weeks ago, and he said like it'd probably be helpful if somebody took the initiative and just kind of just started something. So that led me to start the website, and then after the next meeting after that, then I promoted it publicly for the first time. Joshua was kind of promoting it publicly too, mostly in the Eden members chat, but I spoke about it at the EOS Fireside chat for like 5 minutes or so to introduce it. And then I also promoted it and like hosted a segment about the Eden Fractal on the EOS Hot Sauce for a few minutes as well. This week, I also claimed my Pomelo funding, and so that's some of the EOS that will be donated there in addition to the Eden funding that I'll be doing in the coming days. And I also purchased the Fractal account, and I'll be making the Eden.fractal account that James was referring to in the coming days, so we can send out the EOS and the respect and whatever else. And then I also briefly promoted the Eden Fractal during this week's Fractally meeting, kind of during the after meeting part of it, and just shared it with everybody there. And then also, as Felix was talking about, I co-hosted with Felix the Eden Town Hall on Discord, where we spoke mostly about the Eden Fractal, and we spoke with Jay was there, and Marco asked about it, but yep, we spoke about Eden Fractal mostly there and helped promote and talked about Eden in general as well. And then I've also just been active in the chats and just like learning about Eden, of course, and following everything. And then I also participated, as Felix said, in the interview with Patrick from Nova Crypto. We were working on like the best way to promote this together a bit. So he made this tweet. And then this video, I put together this thumbnail to make it look like cool and exciting and fun. And then also he posted on Biowire as well, which is really more Patrick's credit than mine, but I figure it's cool to share here as well. And then I also just made the Twitter account Eden Fractal, and that's that for my contributions. And yeah, once again, thanks everybody so much for being here. I mean, thanks for listening to this, but thanks everybody so much for being here. This is like super exciting, and I'm so appreciative of everybody who's helping and being here.
Dan, do we have 40 minutes from the time the meeting started? The breakout room started, or?
Yeah, that wasn't clearly defined because we started like a minute or two late.
But if we do, then we should have 20 more minutes right now, because we started at 15, right?
We started at 15. Oh, yeah. I guess I messed up then. I think I messed up my math.
Okay, good.
So, yes, we do have 21, 22 minutes left or so.
Cool.
I have another meeting after this, like 10 actually.
Okay, that's why we figured that we'd end it 5 minutes early so that we have time to come back to the main room and just get consensus in the Zoom chat and get that on video. And then we can have 5 minutes to just like briefly discuss rather than being rushed off and having everybody have a meeting immediately after.
Cool. All right, I would like to nominate Dan for the position 6.
I'd like to second nominate him for the probably providing the greatest momentum to making this happen. And then James, the amount of stuff you did to put this stuff on the blockchain is impressive already. I was going to put you 6 until I just forgot about how far back Dan ties to this.
I agree. I think Marco, I think that's an excellent point, because one, not the only metric, but one metric is who in this room has been indispensable, and arguably James should get that. Well, we couldn't really get this rolling in the vision of smart contracting unless we had James. So I kind of was leaning with Marco's, like that's so important and critical that James could arguably get the number 6. But if you look at the amount of influence that Dan had to exert to put this whole package together, I think Dan Singjoy should get the number 6 slot, and then James. So I'm in agreement with Marco.
Yeah, the reason I wouldn't put myself 6 is because the smart contracts are optional. You don't need a smart contract to get this going. You do need somebody to actually step up to the plate and make it happen, which is what Dan did. So the smart contracts are, I think, quite valuable. But I think Dan taking the lead here is really what we owe this to entirely. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree.
We
I
have a-
feel we, yeah, I would say that would be, I also agree. So I'd say we're unanimous on 1 and 2. And
Cool.
yeah, just also another thank you, you guys. You guys are doing awesome work. And yeah, Dan, you're a grinder, and I'm glad that you know, I'm glad I'm co-hosting with you on the Eden show, or the Discord. And James, yeah, that's sweet to see. It's gonna be cool too, because I feel like there's a possibility of also learning the way that you just explained how you're structuring the smart contract. I mean, yeah, I think that would be awesome to get some content around. Maybe we can set up something, or and you kind of take us through like what you did. I mean, we have this recording too, but that in itself too is like, I think, an eye opener for some people of like, oh wow, okay, it was like, I mean, you made it sound simple, maybe a lot more complex, but it also did, I think, for developers also make them think like, wow, okay, so they just made a contract, and it took, you know, in a week. The possibilities of being able to do that on EOS is huge. So
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk more about it at some point, but I'm in love with the CLSDK for ES development, which is what the Clarion team put together, like, I don't know, a year ago. I don't know if people are using it yet, but it makes contract development on ES so freaking easy. It's so good.
That's cool too.
Nice.
All right, for 654 position 4, what are we thinking?
So I would say Felix. I feel like Felix has done a really helpful job in helping to promote this, both at the town hall and then also in the interview with Patrick, and then also in taking a leadership role with the Discord as well. Felix has been organizing that, and then he's also been sharing a lot of really exciting plans for the town halls in the future. And also, I didn't get a chance to respond to, but I'm very excited to be working on that with you as well, Felix, and your grinder as well. And then, yeah, I agree. What James is doing is amazing, and I also appreciate everybody's support and so forth as well. But yeah, then that might also be, you know, my bias, because I'm working closely with Felix, and I hear a lot of like the great ideas that he's sharing and stuff like that, and I'm seeing some of this stuff behind the scenes. But he's also doing a lot of stuff publicly as well. That's super helpful in terms of helping to lead the community and so forth. I also really appreciate what Jay and Marco are doing as well. But my I guess vote would be for Felix to be number 4.
This is about Eden, but the medium is this meeting. And if there are people to associate it with, it's Joshua, it's Dan, and it's Felix. So I second Felix for 4 rank points.
I agree with that. I think for me, that would be an easy consensus to agree that Felix should get the number 4 slot. And I think Discord, setting up the infrastructure for our network communications. And I agree with Dan's point about Felix's vision for the town hall. I think that's over time, creating the vision now and keeping it rolling consistently will be a great help to building the networked community for the Eden Fractal included in that town hall. You know, it may not be the sole purpose of it, but it's a helpful launching pad for it. And then I know that Mark, and then so if we have consensus on Felix, then I want to nominate Marco for the number 3 spot, because I'm very interested to see, he has a creation of the Flash consensus. He saw a need, he took action and introduced it to the community. And I want to make sure, I want to put him up there for that purpose, so that we can bring attention to projects that get introduced, so that they can be evaluated and looked at, and potentially add value. So so if we have consensus on Felix, then I also nominate Marco for the number 3 slot.
Marco, can you post a link to the EOS Weekly thing in the chat by chance that you build?
Yeah, it's on Cryptometer. I'll grab your link real quick. I posted it in Telegram chats this week.
Okay, I just wanted to like check it out real quick because I don't think I've seen that. But I guess I just
the Flash consensus is not there though.
okay, that's all right. I think so. Have we actually used the Flash consensus, or is it just in
We
the idea
have
phase?
not, and the Flash consensus is merely composing a statement that's shareable. We can easily vote on it. Here is the latest weekly, but I haven't written anything on the Flash consensus yet.
No problem.
Essentially, we come in with an idea. The idea I posted last Saturday was, will EOS EVM bring in an influx of Ethereum maximalists into our culture? It was just a question. And the idea is, if you have a project, sure, but the idea is, what is a prevailing sentiment in the chats that may not make it to the ENF, and then just bring it here. Since you already prepared an idea, everybody can vote on that before they ever enter the meeting. It's just a visual thing that we could eventually translate in some form of fractal distribution. But yeah.
So I just wanted to say it's definitely not obvious to me how to rank these bottom 3 contributions. I could make a case for probably all 3 of you, because no, we haven't mentioned it yet since it was originally said, but Jay inviting Doug Wu, I mean, that's adding a new member to the community. I think growing membership is extremely important. And that doesn't happen every week. So like that's the kind of thing, when that happens on a given week, it's kind of a shame to me if I mean, he's actually, Jay, you're going to be in the position 2 because we only have a group of 5 that are being ranked. So that's good if we go with the way that it seems like consensus is going. But I just wanted to draw attention to that. That's like a not as common thing, and it's really valuable. So I think that's great. Marco, this is actually quite a significant post, and I think content creators like you and like Felix are also extremely needed. So these last 3 contributions are all pretty difficult for me to rank order. It sounds like
I just posted the form for the Flash consensus.
Okay.
I'm just trying to spread that.
Yeah, so Flash consensus is a good idea. It's cool you're spearheading that. I think I am. I'm not going to hold up consensus. It sounds like we have for Felix on position 1, 2, 4. So if everybody else is in agreement that Felix is 4, I am as well. But what do you guys think about the difference here in the? My 2 favorite contributions are the post that you have, Marco, and the inviting of Doug Wu. Like I just want to single those. I want to single those 2 contributions out, and let's talk about those. Like rank ordering those 2, like a weekly newsletter type content and inviting a new member. How do you guys see those?
Inviting new members is top. And someone like Doug is blue chip.
So that's true. Inviting members is really important, but I mean, also it's not like Jay like invited Doug, from totally outside the community. Like Doug, I mean, not to reduce Jay's contributions at all. It's super helpful, and super grateful that Jay organized that. I was actually a witness, and Jay reached out to me and Chuck, and then that also inspired a really interesting and insightful conversation that we had for like an hour and a half. So that adds on to Jay's contribution, that he brought that together in addition to a bunch of other stuff that Jay did. But also there is value in content creation, in evergreen content creation, to attract people in the future beyond just inviting somebody for 1 week. And then Doug was also, an active community member who had Jay not been available that day, Doug probably could have asked somebody else as well. So just to provide some nuance there. And then also, Mel is here too. So even though Mel couldn't participate, like speaking much, he's still here and he still, spoke up. And I know Mel has been doing a lot of great work for the community for a really long time. So I do think that it probably would make sense to rank Mel. I think it makes sense probably to rank Mel number 1 for this meeting because he hasn't been able to really participate. But I think that does make sense to rank Mel because Mel should get respect and so forth for attending this meeting as well, I think, and for his work.
Cool. I agree. Okay. Yeah, I think you might have convinced me that the evergreen content of the post would be ranked higher than inviting Doug. Does anyone else have thoughts about that?
Just to add on a bit of my thoughts, I'm also very very not sure. Like split, I could go either way really because they're both awesome contributions. And as I added, like Jay's contribution to just bring me Doug and Chuck was really helpful as well, in addition to other things as well. So I'm not really advocating for one or the other. I'm maybe just kind of complicating it, but I'm happy to go either way as well.
No, you're clarifying it. It's good.
Okay. Any thoughts, Felix?
Jay or Felix? Yeah.
I actually was the person who nominated Marcos. So
yeah.
I agree with the evergreen. So it looks to me if Jay's able to push Marco forward, it would be Dancing Joy number 6, James Smart number 2, Felix Ruiz number 3, Marco number 4, Jay number 5, and Mel number 6. And then it's going to be tricky for me because I'm on a cell phone. If that's a consensus, then someone skilled at putting that in the chat would be great so that I can just copy and repaste it.
Okay. Sounds good. And yeah, I'm happy with that consensus. Everybody else is happy with it.
Yep. And I can write it in the chat, but you'll have to double check that I'm spelling your EOS names right. And I need an EOS name from you, Marco. Is that your EOS name in the name
it's
there?
It's Mockwire for EOS. Yeah, that's
okay.
The objective of my EOS wallet that I picked up when EOS first started was actually part of the reason I write the newsletter and part of the reason for the independent voice through Flash Consensus is Wire. Like a stock ticker that you see in Manhattan, that's a Wire. Not so much news. I actually have a comic about it where the header is now unobstructed, form your opinion. So in a Wire, it's just raw info without any opinion at all. From wires are built information systems. So just so you know, my Mockwire for EOS, my wallet is actually for that. I believe that was one of the downfalls of Steemit and the motivation behind that.
Nice. Mel, if you're around, can you give me your EOS name?
One thing I was thinking about too.
My EOS name is Crypto Mel 1.
Crypto what?
Crypto Mel 1.
Mel 1. Okay.
Or Melvin Pierce. I've got 2 accounts.
All right, everyone check the chat, see if I spelled your EOS names correctly. Oh, I guess mine shouldn't be capitalized. Spelled my own wrong. Hang on, I'm gonna repost. All right, so if that's correct, then when we go back into the main room, so everyone copy that, and then actually, yeah, I guess we could do it now because I'm also recording now. So either one works. As long as everybody posts that in the chat, then we have it recorded.
Okay.
Cool. And Mel, if you could also, I don't know if you can copy and paste with whatever device you're using and where you are, but if you can, try to copy and paste that into the chat. Nice. Well, that was fun. Good work,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
really
great
nice.
work.
Dan,
Practically 2.0.
yeah, it's going to work, Dan. This is going to be great. I think this is going to be really invaluable for the Eden and EOS communities. Community. I think it's one community.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of the other reasons for the Flash consensus is a deliverable. we have these meetings, and what I just saw today was in the second meeting was you have people online that never use blockchain, and you see something happening.
So Marco, hold on a second, because Mel is making some noises on his train, and also he wrote Crypto Trade 1, so I'm not sure if he got his name wrong when he
his other one.
was submitting it. Well, Mel, can you please clarify? Is that I'm not sure if that's the correct amount of characters. I think that's more characters than 12. But Mel, can you please clarify? Is Crypto Mel 1 a good account name for you, or is Crypto Trade 1 or the other one that you mentioned better?
That is 12 characters, by the way.
Is it? Yeah, okay. It seems like Crypto Trade 1 has an additional character from Crypto Mel 1. So one of those isn't right, I think.
Unless he bought an 11 character premium name.
I kind of doubt that would be the one he would choose.
All right, so you want to revise it to Crypto Trade 1?
Well,
then?
hang on. Let's let Mel speak. Mel, what's the correct account for you?
His train went into a tunnel.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I suppose that we have consensus on video that that's his account, or not that that's his account, but that's him in that rank, and he has one of those accounts. So I suppose that we're okay if Mel's not able to respond, and then we can figure out the details afterwards about what the exact account name is.
Okay, I just checked on blocks.io. There is no Crypto Mel 1, and there is a Crypto Trade 1. So I'm going to repost the whole thing, and Crypto Trade 1, please everyone quickly copy and paste it after I...
Great. Thank you,
All right.
James.
I just added in the new one.
So I'm curious on you guys' thoughts on, I mean, for now, I know we do what what's easiest, but moving forward, what about the using of what we have, like for our EOS account names that's listed on our Eden profile? I feel like makes sense, especially if we're gonna be having funds kind of basically moving within the Eden
Absolutely.
community.
So one counter argument to that is that I think this could actually open up to more than just Eden membership. So really anyone that wants to contribute to EOS could potentially join this.
I agree with that. I think
that's something I think would be interesting that we probably maybe in these next couple of weeks we discuss as a community to kind of figure that out as well, because that was something that came up in I think it was our town hall with Dan and I about it was before Doug was an Eden member. If we're going to require you to be an Eden member since it's an Eden Fractal, versus is it open to anyone who wants to join? I kind of lean more on it makes sense if that makes sense to become an Eden member. You're allowing yourself to become a part of this. But I also see where you guys are coming from as far as like basically we want to have anyone who wants to contribute and help EOS to be a part of this. So it's kind of
I feel like why limit our potential value adders to EOS, but yeah, we can definitely talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting and hopeful discussion to have in the future. Probably not necessary or fitting for right here, right now. And then I'd also just like to say too, because we were planning on doing the 40-minute, but I think maybe Joshua had a big confusion. He sent a message that would end it at in 4 minutes rather than like a minute or two. But I just messaged Joshua ending a couple minutes earlier, so he might just end it any moment now. I'm not sure. I guess we'll get a minute countdown soon. But yeah, I just want to also just pick up on what James was saying, and I think that this will be like super helpful. Like it feels like kind of just small off the cuff that we just joined right now, but I think that we could be at the beginning of like a like a tremendously exciting and helpful Fractal and community for both Eden and EOS, and then the world as a whole, and also for helping people understand benefits of Fractal governance and so forth too. So
Wait, don't leave. Do not leave the room. Do not leave the room yet.
It's an opportunity to.
Hang on. Mel just posted in the chat that he wants us to use his Melvin Pierce account.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, everyone, but I just posted a third and final update. Mel, if this isn't the right account, this is where the EOS is going. So
That's funny.
Okay.
all right, we good. That's 4 out of 6, which is consensus. 5 out of 6. All right, very good. Now we can leave. Or Marco, if you had something last minute to say, then you have 10 seconds.
It's an opportunity to promote Eden or to regulate any negative feedback. That if you're here, you're either an Eden member or prospective Eden member. Writing on what Felix said.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks everybody so much.